And welcome back to the showcase of the Bloodline Dynasty.
I'm sure you will agree with your wise man. Many WWE superstars say they will do whatever it takes in order to achieve success. Quite often, it's a bunch of BS. But if you're lucky, you may run into someone who is willing to look out for the group. Someone willing to make sacrifices. And for this family, there was no one better than Rikishi. After the Head Shrinkers run in WWE came to an end, Rikishi, then known as Fatu, would go on a journey of self-discovery. This journey would lead to him taking on the name Rikishi, a subtle nod to his cousin Yokozuna, as well as an opportunity to start fresh with a global audience.
Well, my dad, when he became the Rikishi character, when you think about Samoan wrestlers, right, or mean, or aggressive, he made it like his own flavor, right? He had the blonde hair, still carried the aggressiveness, but I think he just wanted to add like a little flavor to it. But it became even more popular to our culture.
Rikishi blitzed WWE from the jump, devastating opponents with new tricks and winning people over with his fat-ass dance moves.
That Rikishi is fat, all right. P-H-A-T.
And with this wave of newfound momentum came even more success, with Rikishi capturing the WWE Intercontinental Championship and displaying incredible athleticism in iconic moments like when he dove off the top of the steel cage. The year 2000 belonged to Rikishi. But little did anyone know, Rikishi held a dark secret regarding a decision he'd made not for his own benefit, but for the benefit of the family. It was at the 1999 Survivor Series that Stone Cold Steve Austin was hit by a car in the arena parking lot, forcing him from the main event later that night for the WWE Championship. For nearly a year, all of WWE was consumed with figuring out who was driving that damn car and why Austin was targeted in the first place. The verdict came in. The car was driven by Rikishi. Rikishi would stand strong.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, I didn't do it for me. I did it for The Rock.
What?
Rikishi would lay out a years-long gripe that WWE preferred Steve Austin to The Rock, and so Rikishi had made sure that The Rock's only competition had been removed from the picture. Rikishi sacrificed his own popularity to reach this goal. The Rock thrived while Austin was on the shelf. For Rikishi, the struggle and fall was all worth it. Rikishi knew that he would eventually have to face off with the Texas Rattlesnake to answer for his sins, and he welcomed that meeting with open arms. What Rikishi was unprepared for was for WWE to stack the deck entirely, looking to make Rikishi pay for taking out their golden goose. Stone Cold Steve Austin was allowed to drive his truck directly to the ring and was generally given the freedom to do whatever the hell he wanted in the name of revenge. We are going to make things right. This time, when Rikishi and Stone Cold Steve Austin lock horns, there will be no stacking of the deck. Someone willing to give of himself so that his family, this family, can succeed, deserves better. So get in there and showcase the never say die spirit that has led this family to victory time and time and time and time and time and time again. Use whatever weapon you can get your hands on and prove to Stone Cold Steve Austin that you will do anything for the people.
Yes, sir, Heyman. We did it for The Rock. We did it for the people. Yeah. That's the funny thing. Not that promo, but The Rock's Armageddon Hell in a Cell promo, where he impersonates like everyone, is kind of what I was going for. It was a fun one. It was one of my favorite ones I watched. Made me laugh out loud, because it's like him being The Rock, Kurt Angle, Triple H, Austin, Rikishi, and The Undertaker. 6-man Hell in a Cell match, and The Rock just goes in on everyone, making fun of all of them. So yeah, no, that's one of my favorite promos. Kinda hard to really say too much about Austin and Rikishi. Well, I mean, Rikishi kinda had that hit or miss type of career, I believe, but he did good for what he was given, especially considering he was more of a comedy act. He did well with Too Cool, with Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Sexy. Yeah. But it's really funny, like the sole reason they even ran Austin over with the car was simply because they're like, oh, you need surgery, you can't compete, and we need to make some money, like everything. So they just beat him down. They just beat him down and said, yeah, you're it, that's all. But no. Yeah, so nope, it was just a way to write him off the TV. So they ran him over, let him go get surgery. It was like serious spinal surgery that it was, but yeah, they needed that, and it just helped them build up The Rock and Rikishi and all of them more so. But I mean, I can't complain. Yeah, this was originally a street fight at No Mercy. Now, of course, Austin won this, but naturally we have to rewrite the history and beat down Steve Austin. And I have a small problem with this Rikishi character model. Not enough ass. Not enough is shown. Yeah, well, you gotta get a T rating game somehow. Gotta get that T rating somehow. But then again, they can have some of the males with females with half of it. Yeah, you know what? Let's just not worry about it. But no. So, funny thing, since Joe Hendry is very popular, one of my favorite parodies he's done was he did a Living on a Prayer parody for Scotty 2 Hotty, and brought Rikishi into it, basically saying that Scotty 2 Hotty wasn't as over as Rikishi's ass. But no, kind of funny. Rikishi Hall of Famer in WWE, same with Steve Austin, but like Rikishi multi-time tag champion with Samu and among others. But I don't know, one of my kind of with Heyman, I didn't get to cover it with originally with the Steiners and them. It would have been more relevant then, but you know, time constraints. Apparently Heyman's got this crazy road story where he was with the Samoans. It was in WCW when they were all running around. So him, Samu, and Fatu were driving around, and in another car you had Sting and the Steiners, in which they would apparently, you gotta remember this is the late 80s, 90s, so the rules of the road are a suggestion, and you were doing whatever you could do to get a laugh at your fellow wrestler's expense. So they would allegedly, they'd be driving down the road. I believe Sting would drive, Scott would be in the passenger seat, Rick would be in the back seats. They'd pull up on wrestlers, and Rick would basically hang himself out the window being held by Scott, open your car door, and scare the bejesus out of you. So yeah, it basically, Heyman even said it, it's basically, turn, you now backed up traffic because of this. And there's two cars totaled. So the Samoans are driving with Heyman. Heyman's driving, you got Fatu and Samu also in the car. Heyman kind of looks up in his rear view and sees Sting and the Steiners. So he quickly locks the door, knowing what they'll do. Well, they pull up, and they try and open the door. They can't open it, so they knock on the window. Heyman looks at them and said, "Ha ha ha, sucker, gotcha." They pull up, they start throwing food at them. Samoans make Heyman pull over, go to a convenience store. They buy out the convenience store, and then get back on the road and catch up to the Steiners and Sting. And the way Heyman describes it is it was Mad Max, like the Mel Gibson movie Mad Max, where they're just throwing everything out and around to see what they can get on them. By the time they finish it up, car is totaled, and Heyman, who had the rental car in his name, is now, to this day, banned from ever renting a car. I believe it's in North Carolina and surrounding areas. But no, that's just crazy. Steve Austin, I guess I can talk a little bit about him for a bit. Multi-time world champion, tag champion, and intercontinental champion. A good friend of both Owen Hart and Brian Pillman. God rest their souls. But it's kind of funny. This is like 2001, 2002-ish when this would have been. So one thing that was kind of cool, or interesting you could say, is after Brian Pillman passed away, Steve Austin was basically wearing a gold chain around his neck, and the whole shtick was that was what he and Pillman would do. We made it real now, we gotta wear the gold chains, so we gotta wear gold chains now, you know? So they would wear their gold chains and make their way through the arena and such. Make their way through the arenas and such with their gold chains. But no. Yeah. So, other things Austin was known for: beer drinking. He was straight up the F corporate attitude. No wonder that's why I don't like my boss. I'm just kidding, I like my boss. But man, it's no wonder I don't like corporate people. I've been watching Steve Austin, who told me to rebel against corporate authority figures. It all makes sense. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, live and learn. Stuck in Texas, Austin. I will say, it definitely kind of hard to talk about two guys like this when, one, I didn't grow up watching them, and two, everything I have to say, it's difficult to say. Because it's like, yeah, I didn't grow up watching Rikishi, I grew up watching his kids being Jimmy and Jey Uso, and to an extent Solo Sikoa, who will cover them all eventually in this project, because they're going to cover them. Usos are the longest reigning tag champs, and Solo's just a menace to society. But no. So, I mean, definitely more known for his dancing. Like, one of my favorite clips was he had a moment where it was like a Father's Day episode of Raw, and Usos had just won a match, the lights had gone out, and him and Rikishi basically did their dad's dance. which was cool. And they got to induct their dad into the Hall of Fame, which is really amazing that you can do that. So I always thought that was nice. Like, what else is there? I mean, Austin, yeah, definitely more known for his career in WWE, but did have a couple stints in ECW and WCW, but it was when he ditched the ringmaster shtick in WWE that he actually became amazing. And that didn't do it. Ah, come on. Oh well. We're almost done here. I think one more of these finishers should do it. And we'll probably call it a day after that. So, yeah. Then even this is the last one I do. Sunday. What? BS. Oh, resiliency. Sunday, we'll do the next episode of Sonic Colors where we will continue on through the Starlight Carnival and basically finish that up, actually, from what I'm remembering. And next week in the WWE 2K25 Showcase mode, we got Umaga and John Cena. That'll be good, because realistically Umaga was the first Samoan I was introduced into, not knowing it was a Samoan. Oh, we won. Finally. Well, in that case, that'll definitely do it for this episode. Catch you Sunday for the finale of the Starlight Carnival of Sonic Colors. There I go, calling it the Carnival Starlight again. Ah well. C'est la vie. Until Sunday, everyone. Peace.